kind of lead the,
Well, nobody came prepared to do that,
Right.
yeah.
And,
Well,
Brenda, you have ran these meetings in the past, nobody else
a
has.
long time ago,
Yeah, it was. It's been a
back when
while.
we were the village, I was
Yeah,
a church,
yeah,
but I didn't bring my little blue.
You know,
book, which is
what do we have to determine, today?
well, we
Does
have,
anybody know?
Yeah, I mean, so the first thing is to do the permit for the subdivision.
to move it on.
And I believe from the last meeting we had, we didn't have a lot of open questions on that.
We didn't.
Was somebody,
and-
do we have any minutes from that?
I have the minutes from last week.
Yeah. I saw that they had to revise kind of the driveway structure
Can you read?
for the fire department access.
Did you read?
Well, did you?
Yes,
Yeah.
You did have to?
fire departments by state,
Yeah.
off the table now.
Yeah, sure, come on.
Were we going to, it said we were going to vote on them, do we have copies of the minutes?
Yes, I picked them up. I have it here.
But do we have them?
Not yet, I will pick them up right now.
Okay, that would be very helpful.
Yes.
Could you print off a copy of the minutes for each of us, please?
That's what.
That's what she said.
That's what-
Yes,
Okay.
this is the one house.
I guess we all depend on Kevin to be
Yeah.
here, and like I said,
Well,
nobody was
Kevin-
realizing that he wasn't gonna be here.
Kevin's been a one-horse show here in terms of, of a lot of stuff.
Right,
He knows a lot of stuff that the rest of us don't know.
right.
This goes beyond him being a lawyer. He has this, obviously, you've been here long enough to see, he has some expertise in a lot of this stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah, no doubt
The
about it.
rest of us are novices with,
Yeah,
and, Tom Stan wants you to have him, too bad he's not here today.
right.
One of my problems is that I sometimes think of the wrong zoning regulations too, because,
Yeah, they're hard to keep straight for sure.
well, they've also changed in the
Yes.
last 30 years.
Last few
Fair
years.
point,
they
yeah.
have.
Okay, anyhow, what do we need?
Okay, well, I guess part of this will be, since we do have, David and Madeline on the call, seeing if they have any objections or thoughts on
Sure,
the subdivision.
certainly we need to happen then.
But we are. Okay.
I believe they unmuted to.
This is David and Madeline, and we have no questions.
Okay, yeah, we weren't sure if there would be any concerns from the neighbors, so that's good.
So, David and Madeline, this is Ted speaking. You have no comment or questions? Do you have anything that you would like to say to us?
No, I don't think so. David?
Okay,
Go ahead, David.
I do not know whether or not it falls under your purview. But we wanna be assured that the construction site for the new subdivision is stick built or factory built, as opposed to manufactured home.
Hi, David. Hi, Madeline. Joel. Yeah,
Hi, Joe.
we had that agreement in our purchase and sales on that no double wides and no single wides. My attorney tells me that, and I'm sticking to that. I've showed the lots and I tell people that I give them the copy of this map. Now the new one with the fingers on it. That there's no double wides or single wides. And the attorney says if that got pushed to the Supreme Court, Vermont Supreme Court, you may lose that. because you are, discriminating against.
But if it's in the,
But it's in the covenants, my attorney says it's in the covenants, and if they sign it, and then
Right.
they're fine, so.
Right.
People had said, okay, and they don't have to buy.
right,
I know it
Well, yeah, but-
maybe narrows my margin down. I want the homes to be, I'm not against trailers or double wides, I know people can
but
afford it, but they're gonna be either stick built or a Huntington home or a, you
yeah,
know, one of those.
there's still a framed house. yeah.
Framed house.
But if it's in the covenants, then they won't be allowed.
If you want me to start a little bit, if you will. You guys asked me to notify all the neighbors, and that's what
That's
this
usually if you
is.
notify them all.
And instead of paying $6 to know, I just went around on Sunday, got them all
It's not-
signed.
it's need- doesn't need to be sworn in tonight.
Okay.
Yes. Since this is the,
You affirm that what you are going to tell us tonight will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Hmm?
Will that do?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
As you know, my wife and I live across the road. We've been living there for almost 38 years. This November will be 38 years. And this property came available to us and we decided to, with a little quickly and screaming for my wife to buy it. And, without mortgaging the house, she said, that we only owe, 6 years, 5 years on the house, less than 30,000, 2.5%. She said, I'm not remortgaging it. And so, I went around, got everybody's signature, and as I said to everybody, and David and Madeline was one of them, David came up, was mowing the lawn. And I went back down and got Madeline to sign that. By signing this, doesn't mean they agree or disagree with this project, it means that we're notified of the hearing. So everybody signed it, there was one screw up there, the clerk signed where the Menards were, and then vice versa. The second page is the road surveys that done the initial soils back in March. And they'll all be conventional septic systems, no mound systems.
And those are already been designed?
They're in the works of being designed. They will get at closing a design for up to a 3-bedroom home. For septic system on their own lot. When this first started in early March, Chris encouraged me to, he says you could do 6 lots over there. Because you have the land. And my engineer says, you have the land, but you'd have to have shared systems, and we didn't want to.
Right, right.
So they're all single lots with their own septics on each lot. The minor change from 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago when I was first here was the cul-de-sac. You see it's gone now, and they call it the fork or the finger. And that's where it's coming from the fire chief and the Vermont Department of Fire Safety. They don't like cul-de-sacs because people park in, and then you can't turn just park up. Driveways like that finger, they said you can pull in and back around and people don't park in.
So these are the driveways to those 3 lots.
Those are the driveways to those 3, that finger.
And they're what, 20-foot wide?
22 foot wide,
22.
the road would be, and the driveways after that one going to the last lot 5, would be narrowed down to 20 feet. So the driveway for that lot. The turnaround is the 2, I call them the 2 fingers,
Right.
the Y. Okay, you'll see,
And I noticed you made sure it was long enough to turn around the largest truck.
right, that's what the
Yeah, there's just,
the
There's a fire
Division of
department.
Fire Safety
Right.
says. You will see in one of your maps. You have here, I have a bunch of guys. I blew it up, so I'm sorry, but. Here's the one that's blown up. You'll see down till. The water line is 2 inch off the main road. Till it goes to just past. Lot 4's connection, and then it goes to 3/4 down to lot 5. And lot 3 and 2 will have their own 3/4 inch. Everybody will have underground copper. Copper by the town specs. Lot 1 already has one, that house is sitting there presently. And the electrical line will be that dotted line down to the center of lots 5. 3 and 4, the corner lots of those 3 lots.
Are the lots buried or are they close around?
Everything will be buried, electrical and for phone, cable and power will be up there. Be a pedestal, green mountain power pedestals in the, right, as you can see, we put it right on the property line of all 3. So no one has to have an easement to dig to it over somebody else's property. It wasn't put up here or put down here, there's no easement.
And this lot up here,
We'll get it from this, there's a pole right here,
Oh.
they'll get it underground to it.
that's where the pole.
And this one, eventually, when this house is removed, we'll get it from this pole, there's another pole right here. Okay,
There isn't a copper line going into the existing house, is there?
yes, there is, matter of fact, yes, there is.
That's-
You know, that house was actually not a house at first, it was built in 1890. That place is that old. That front and that side is porches, the
1990 or
1890.
Oh,
Well,
It was part of the old Bristol Box Company office,
well, it's new
Oh.
compared to my house.
but 1890,
Yeah,
pretty old.
30 years on.
And why it sits so close to the road, like my house sits close to the road, my fence. From Maple Street to the town barn, that Pine Street's only a 2-rod road, not a 3-rod.
somebody said it was referred to, they thought of it as a lane.
When the box shop was there and the Bristol Box Company down over the hill. Yeah, and it says in this deed, starting 1 rod from the center of Pine Street to the iron pipe.
Hmm.
From Madeline and David's corner and this corner here they haven't found the pipe yet, the old fence line is still there. Okay, and you have the letter from the fire chief, and I'd love to answer more questions. Our goal is to sell a couple of lots this year and then maybe a lot or 2 next year and then probably not flip the house, tear the house down by sometime in 27.
There was talk at the last meeting about renting.
And we're going to try to, it's full. She was a porter and it was chock full, that 30-yard container is almost full, and we're not done yet. We still got the bedroom and the kitchen to do, we've got all the other rooms done, and then we got to start upstairs. The upstairs isn't too bad, it's a 2-bedroom, because she couldn't get upstairs. It's not too bad, and the cellar is just about as back, and that shed out back, and the garage is just gonna be, just both the old barns are gonna be destroyed, taken down. There's no value to them, as you saw, if you've gone by lately, somebody's taken all the tin off, I gave that away.
Right.
They wanted it, and I said, take it. It'll be less weight that I have to put it.
Right.
So,
So you've got the access road,
that's in the center, yeah.
you've decided about electricity, water. And septic, but you haven't designed the septic yet, but in order to get the state. To get the state permission on that, you're going to have to design.
Kevin has tested the soils, they've done about 7 test holes. And all the soils passed, there's no high water, all the soils passed for, he said. We're up to a 3-bedroom conventional septic system, 1,000-gallon tank and a leach field, each one.
And why 3 as opposed to 2 or 4?
Just if somebody wants to build a 3-bedroom home, a young family, they can. It's not gonna be, it's gonna be designed for up to a 3-bedroom. The septic system, is that a little bit bigger? I'm not an engineer, I don't know that. The first 25 feet of the road is gonna be paved, so people are starting and stopping.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's not gonna be dust and piles.
And what about lighting on the road? Are you going to have
No,
that
I
lighting on the road?
don't anticipate it. That road is only 193, about 125 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah, there is a street light right here.
okay.
That one,
And the fire hydrant.
and a fire hydrant, right there, brand new. And the town.
Yeah, I saw that today. I drove by and said,
They're on
I
the.
didn't think I'd seen that.
What are the,
That's been there for a little while.
well, since last October, they put it in.
Last October.
When they did the new street line. And the town gave me, the water commissioners gave me permission last night too. Cause they wanna grind this street, pave it by September 1st. They don't want me to dig it up September 2nd. So they gave me permission to put at least the first 17 feet of a 2-inch main. To feed the 3 houses in the back. Or the 4, this one too, we're not digging 2 spots in the road, we're digging. I mean, I think it fits the neighborhood. I really do. I mean, where you live, Dale, your house, when we moved over there, Tiny and Lawson Hammond was the only place there, and they grew vegetables in that big
Right.
field. We watched that field develop, and the lots are, I think, a good size village lot, 30.
I mean, they're all conforming lots, so.
As I said, Chris
And
had
it doesn't
mentioned to me
seem
in
like-
March, why don't you go for 6? And my engineer goes, no, it's too much work, and you gotta have 6 shared septic systems. And that's when you
Right.
get into.
If the lots get smaller, but, I mean, they're all conforming lots. We don't have any neighbors that are really have any objections at this point.
I've met with the Clarks and I've met with the Haneys, and we've had an agreement, the Haneys, we're gonna build a fence on this line here. A stockade fence, I've agreed to that. We're not gonna cut any of those big old pines between the Haneys and us. If we even try to even figure out who owned them, I think David and Madeline do own them, but we're gonna leave them right there, any of the old box alder. We're gonna cut out, the trees down through here, I've met with the Clarks, and I said, I don't wanna trim within 10 feet of your line or down here with the trees. We wanna leave the trees, so,
And what do you have for trees over on the?
a lot of the maples,
On
just
the
a
east
lot
side.
of maples, a lot of maples. If you remember my property across the road.
Yeah.
They were 2 huge, 5 feet wide, big huge maples when we bought that place.
Hmm.
And down in here, there's a lot of little saplings that probably were seedlings over the years. It's just overgrown with brush and junk down in there. There's a few mature trees. My wife and I probably marked 25 already. And we're gonna go in and tell them to take the box hauler out first, the junk trees, and then let us look. And then we're not stripping by no means. By no means. This gentleman's property down here he is very ill. Arnold's getting better. He had some accident or something. I'm not sure. I should have known, but I don't know. And its property is, you can tell he hasn't maintained it. He's got a lot of junk around and stuff because he can't get out. He's still confined to a bed mostly. And so we're gonna leave the trees there for buffer.
Right, just so you're not looking at
Right.
it.
And you really don't want to strip it if it's such a steep hill anyway.
It's not that steep. It's really not that steep. It slides
Like I
down like
said-
this a couple of times
Oh,
through the
okay.
railroad tracks, goes all the way to this town of Bristol land.
I think it's steep enough to have a second floor down below. with a-
Yeah, this one
A
here,
walkout.
Yeah. I
this
think
one I
so.
almost had a purchase and sales the other day, but they backed out. They wanted it, but their bank told them they gotta sell their house first, so. But I've had a lot of interest. And but I keep telling people, we wait till I get the barns down, you can see the whole lots, the size of the lots.
Right,
You know, they get down here, they go, that's a pretty good sized lot, but then they can't see over here.
right. Yeah, it still needs a lot of cleaning up.
Okay.
But I don't know, I mean, if they're all conforming lots, we don't have anybody that's here to say they don't wanna see it happen.
The last 2 Saturdays that we've been there, the last 3 Saturdays, Robert, the executor, let me start cleaning the barn out before I owned it, but 5 days before I owned it.
Well, you own it now, right?
I own it now. I owned it, will be 2 weeks tomorrow.
Okay.
And everybody going to the dump was giving me stock and going, it's about time. You know, property. And to Caroline and Lester's defense, they were great neighbors. Just wonderful people, would do anything for anybody. He could work on anything. But, you know, he died in 2011 and she was 91 and she just kids didn't come around to help her much, and you know, they mow it when they could, or I mow it. So. Getting it cleaned up.
Okay, was there anything else from last time?
No, I looked back through the notes. There was a question about slopes and I think that was
That was
resolved, yeah.
I was just asking.
Yeah, and then there was the part about the fire department, that's resolved now.
Right,
And then it really just was the fact this counts as a major subdivision, so making sure we have the required number of meetings about it.
just the second one.
Yeah. And-
Technically, this is the first meeting,
Yeah, the way the notes are written, that's what it sounded like, that
because,
2 required and today's the first.
yeah,
First one was a meet and greet, I was told.
Yeah, that's the sketch plan review to kind of give the applicant an idea of anything they might be missing before going to the preliminary plat review, which is this meeting here. And then there's the final plat review, which is when,
Because first meeting, you'll see the permit was signed by the executor. The landowner, I didn't know that yet. And I said, I really want to go. And if they say absolutely not, get out, no way. Well,
This is the
we're not buying it.
So-
So
This is
So
for,
there is gonna be another scheduled meeting.
Let's see the
Yeah.
last application.
it's signed
So-
by
Yes.
the executor.
yeah, so I guess
Okay.
Yeah,
Really
what
want to-
y'all would be moving on is
just,
moving on to the final plat.
So scheduling that, and then if there's anything we need to fix between now and
what
then.
are we going to be looking for on that? I mean, we've covered pretty well everything tonight, I think.
right,
I think we have,
Do we want to see permits in hand? Do we want to?
It'll be 90 days, like,
well, tonight's just so we can keep moving forward on this, so yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I don't think we can include it,
Yeah.
you know, by process and procedure, we have to have up to 3 meetings.
yeah, and I'm not.
so it
I
really
agree with
comes
that 100%.
comes down to though,
I'm
like,
just
is
saying-
there anything we're expecting him to have for the next?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, and so we can talk about that, you know,
When will be the next meeting?
That's the other thing.
Yeah, we gotta have to decide that as well.
Because my engineer tells me it'll be 60 to 90 days before I get my water from the state. I got permission to do it from the town,
Mhm.
but those conditions last night were they cannot be any valve turned on until the state of Vermont get your wastewater and water
Right,
discharge permit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know for the septic system permits, the state takes every last day that they can.
Yes, they do. You get it the half hour back before it's due.
Yeah.
It's last day.
Hmm.
So.
So, but I mean, is that a requirement for us in terms of being able to approve a subdivision? Cause that, okay, I didn't think it was.
no, that is something that the landowner has to negotiate with the state or present to the state and get approval for it.
Right now, just this 2-inch main is gonna be put into a curb stop, 2-inch valve. Just in the right of way, outside the right of way of the road, just off the edge of the road. So they can go by in September and pave it.
Yeah.
I won't be, there will be a house built there, who
right,
knows? But I can't even supply them water until we get from the town, until we get, the town will supply me water, until we get the wastewater and water permit from the state of Vermont. And my engine's
so-
working on it.
And so that's so you can present that to the person that buys the lot as done. Because couldn't you just have them file for that themselves as individuals?
They could,
Yeah.
but here, these are gonna be these are all in the right of way of this road. And each lot owner is gonna own the town's gonna own the curb stop, just like they do here in anywhere in the village.
Okay,
They own to the curb stop, from the main to the curb stop, and then from here, it's gonna be copper underground to any house, wherever you.
okay.
But they won't turn them on until I get the state says.
But
okay.
this is gonna be a private road going in there.
Correct.
It's not a town road.
Correct, but the water bylaws are,
Okay.
the town is gonna own to the curb stops. That's why it's gotta be copper. If it was plastic,
Underneath.
they'll know it. It's black. If it's copper, they'll do the curb stop, they won't own right here to the house.
And so they have to
Right.
own it and maintain it.
If in 100 years that line breaks, the town will fix it, not the developer,
You won't need to worry about
you
it.
know.
right, years from.
Well, it seems to me that you've done due diligence here,
He's met the requirement.
you met the requirements, I mean, this is not a super complicated thing, because, especially because of the soils and it's already in the village, it's already in the dense residential.
I mean, I'm not a developer by all means. And I live across the road. I don't wanna be good neighbors. And that's why we bought the property. We didn't want to see it, you know.
How long do you think you need, would you like, I mean, you expect, or sort of hoping that we have another meeting next month?
I would
Or-
say late August.
Yeah.
Probably. I can't speak for Kevin, my engineer, whether he's gonna have all the septic designs in and write that check.
Well, we can just set a date, if you can't make it, we can change it. Right?
The water, he'll be back. We got the
27th.
next thing he said.
What's that?
Start with the septic. They've surveyed it now. They found all the pipes, all but except this one. They gotta get their geiger, their little metal detector out to find this lot by the road. But they found the rest of them from the old surveys.
So I think we're all set, right?
Just need to
I
decide.
think so, yeah, and so we just.
I just can't tell you when I'm,
Just set a date,
Or do you
We'll
want,
say August 27th.
or when will you be ready?
I-
Either 1 month, 2 months, 3 months,
we could,
Christmas.
I think you'll have to check with the engineer to make sure he's ready.
Yeah.
but
Right.
we have to set a date here. now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's
the
saying,
27th works for me.
yeah.
And then if we have to push it to
Is that the
later,
third
September?
Tuesday?
That's the fourth Tuesday. There's 4 Tuesdays in that month.
We've been doing third Tuesdays, I think.
That should be the third Tuesday of August. the 20th.
Well, we're probably gonna have.
The 20th would be the third.
But I think we got something coming up on the 27th anyways, right?
Hold on,
I-
I'm going with the DRB dates that are on the calendar that Chris wrote out.
In other words, if you don't think you'd be quite ready, then we sort of have been meeting on the third Tuesday, which means that people sort of clear their calendars.
To be honest with you, I probably don't think we'll be ready for August 20th from the state, not for the wastewater.
Yeah.
Then perhaps in September,
So let's go into September,
yeah,
I mean, there's no, we're not gonna hold you up.
you're not expecting the,
Right.
the
17th then of September? That's the third Saturday. Tuesday.
Are you sure you can have it by then?
Like I said, I
Well,
don't.
if he can, we can just change that date.
Well,
His
But we
engineer,
would have to convene to change it, unfortunately.
well, but we probably will have something to do.
Yeah, I don't think we
I
have. too
mean,
much
we
to
have
worry
this
about.
other thing that's coming up, the
Yeah.
discussion about Lathrop, it's nice.
Oh.
You didn't read that?
I didn't know about that.
What was
Oh, yeah, I heard that there was.
Yeah, it was attached to the email about today.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't know what it was about.
It's 6 weeks, the 17th of September is about when Kevin could start working back. 6 weeks backward. He's not back in the office until August 12th.
So September might
Yeah.
definitely
I would
be
say
a
that.
better chance.
I will say that the planning commission usually meets the third.
Okay,
So go further into September.
It could either be the 10th or the 24th, yeah,
Okay,
I would say the 24th.
the 24th.
okay.
That won't be the final one, or will it be? the final?
That would be.
that
the
would
final.
be,
if all goes well.
So I believe someone has to make a motion to,
Yeah, someone needs to make a motion and someone needs a second, right?
yeah, for the meeting, for the final plot meeting to be on September.
I'll make a
24th.
motion that we should meet again for this on September 24th.
And I second that.
there you go.
There we go.
Lovely.
All in favor?
Aye.
I just want to clarify what the zoning appeal means on the agenda. That is a appeal that,
We're all done.
yeah,
Yes, thank you.
We're gonna.
thank you, Joel. That was an appeal that came through the zoning office. And in my role, that is any appeals or zoning, yeah, any appeals to any zoning related decisions come to my office and then I bring them up to you. Especially if it is a appeal on a decision made by a zoning administrator. This was an appeal to a decision made by Chris Purley. Related to the mill at Lathrop, the Lathrop Mill at 44 South Street. I brought this up as setting a date to have the hearing, as it necessitates public notice. And other requirements that need time to be fulfilled. So it's not to actually go through the hearing, it is to set a date for one.
What is the issue?
I have in summary, the issue is, the appellant believes that, the mill is operating outside their hours. and, is appealing that their use, basically, their permitted use.
He's saying they work a lot at night with very unloading, logs, sawing logs, and so forth, and sometimes don't even work during the day.
Can you hear it from your house?
I cannot, I don't know if I can, because my windows may be closed on that side. It's not as bad as when I first moved there and they were crushing rocks. But, I was sitting out there in my truck and there was this general low hum. I don't know what it was. I didn't go down to check whether it was that, but the sound would be caught right there in that cul-de-sac, well, that little area there, and I do know that people when working in the middle of the night is annoying.
Well,
No, I mean, if they have hours that they have to stay, well, stay within whatever their business hours are.
But they have no business hours, that's the other thing, they
Yeah.
are an agricultural, or sorry, forestry. Business, and
so-
therefore, it's like the agriculture, they essentially do not have, it's very difficult for towns to put rules on. Essentially, they are work free, however, that section does start off with a little saying before it does the numeration. And what, under number 5, it says that these do not apply to agricultural and forestry uses. It says at the top that, that there's should not
what
be.
are you referring to, Brenda?
Sorry, the one thing on noise in
Oh, okay, so
the
the regs.
Right.
in the
Okay,
regulations.
okay.
It has a little thing at the top saying that, the noise should be kept down enough so that people can live next to you, essentially.
Yeah,
Hmm.
You may
Which-
have it right there, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I will have more for when this is actually like
Right.
a held hearing. This was more, I put this on the agenda as new business to make a date for it and to kind of prepare y'all for. To bring it to your attention, so you're not coming into the next meeting when we have the hearing.
Yeah.
Unknowing.
Is there a set process on the best way to address appeals like this? Cause I know within the code, we've got like sections that tell us what we should be looking at for a lot of what we're looking after, but I wasn't sure for appeals, do we have,
There are things in the code. on
is there
appeals.
guidance in there?
You almost never get.
Okay.
We're not doing any policing.
No.
That's not our job. We're not.
Yeah,
Enforcing, we're not, I mean, that's not our role. But, this is a new one for me, and so, I'm gonna be here to learn.
so we're all gonna be learning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here to learn about, what our role is, what sort of authority we have.
yeah,
And certainly, we wanna have Kevin here.
yes, that's,
To delve into this.
yes,
Oh, definitely.
yeah, I didn't know that Kevin was not gonna be here. But that is all right, we're all learning
Yeah, we
together.
made it
This is
through
my
anyway.
first appeal process as well.
Well, I've been doing this many years and I don't recall any appeal process.
I have
We
looked at,
had one or two that gone to the
Yeah.
state,
And this
but
is
they
not,
went more or less directly to the state.
and this is not an appeal of a decision that this board made.
No,
Must be Chris.
no, well, it is and it isn't.
Well,
because-
I think from the letters, it looked like he wrote a letter to Chris saying, hey, I don't think this works, and Chris said, look, it falls within
Yeah,
the code that, the way I see it written, so it's fine, and then that's why they're appealing Chris's decision to us.
we're not so much fine, but we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's not so much, we agree that you should just deal with this, but more so we're adhering to the rules as they are written.
Yeah, I think, Kevin will have a better,
Right.
idea about whether this is something we should be dealing with or whether this is something the select board should be dealing with,
Well,
Um,
we'll have to see what they're.
Yeah.
the
what their
process
feeling
is,
Like I
Yeah.
said, I've had my property appealed before and it's. I get the permit and the neighbors have 30 days to appeal it. They don't appeal it back to the town, they appeal it to, well, they send a letter to the town, but they'll appeal it to the state of Vermont.
And we've had
Then
a
you go to
couple of
environmental
those.
court.
And also,
But it sounds like just something that Chris had done himself and maybe they're appealing his decision.
what I'm
That's
trying,
what I'm thinking. So,
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
appealing the zoning administrator's decision.
decision.
and it does say, no noise which is excessive at the property line represents a significant increase in noise levels in the vicinity of the development and is incompatible with reasonable use of the surrounding area shall be permitted. And then it has the listing, this is section 751, if you have one of these.
I don't have.
Then it lists 5 little things about, hours and that sort of thing. And then it says these standards shall not apply to any exempt uses like agricultural or forestry uses.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I mean, you understand, yeah.
I also, I would,
So
tabling this discussion until the actual hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
And instead setting the date and using the time until the hearing date to look over the regs. Look over, I will send out the rest of the materials about the decision, what was sent by Chris, what was sent by the appealant. So that at the hearing date, y'all have all the information, the appealant will be able to come and say their part.
And all, I mean, there's a lot of stuff needs to happen, all the neighbors need to be notified and then given a chance to weigh in.
Yep,
Right.
that's why I put it on the agenda as for y'all to set the date of when this hearing will commence, because
How far out does it need to be to provide proper notice?
ideally, the 27th would give me enough time to get to the newspaper, to the neighbors,
27th of
August.
August. Okay. That would work for me. Would that work for you guys?
Yeah, I replied, either day's fine with me,
Yeah.
so.
All right,
And we have, 3 other members on the lam here that may return by then.
Right.
hopefully,
We haven't seen John for a while. Is John gone somewhere? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
Because he's been pretty regular attending. He wasn't here last time. He's not here
Yeah,
today.
his-
Slim, is that the nickname?
John,
Yeah, I'm still learning everyone's names.
what is his nickname?
I Slim, but maybe that's a different
No.
board.
No.
I've only,
I've only known him.
Slim is Pickens.
Okay, right. Slim Pickens, okay.
I think
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
John's the one that I've seen him like dial in a couple times. I think.
yes,
The
yes.
appeal is,
remotely.
we're
Yeah, he-
talking about August 22nd.
August 22nd,
Yeah.
August 27th as the hearing date,
27,
27.
Yeah,
and the
so I guess officially I make a motion.
Joe Bouvier's
meet.
thing.
on the 27th.
Will be
Well, I
September
don't think we need to
24th.
Do that.
We're just setting it.
We're not setting this. We're not setting this time.
You don't have to?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
He's setting
I still don't
it and
understand that
informing
difference,
us.
but.
No,
okay.
I was asking, that was me asking y'all to set up like an actual motion for a hearing, I believe.
Do we need a motion for the hearing?
No,
No, okay. See, I'm not.
I'm saying.
I'm still learning Robert's rules
Right.
with everything.
No,
There's a
no,
lot
no.
of
Okay, cool.
details to that. I don't
Then
think-
that was just me doing
Okay.
scheduling. You're right.
Right, so I'll get.
schedule it and inform us.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
But, in other words, we discussed it and we just decided, are you still recording?
Yes. So I guess the last thing is just,
The meeting minutes.
yeah,
Last thing,
I had a chance to look through and they all look accurate to me.
I didn't see the minutes among the other things.
Bottom of your pile.
No, I mean, I didn't see them.
Yeah, they only came out recently.
I was reading.
I got them this morning.
Who writes them? Oh, we have
Carol.
we have a special person.
Cheryl.
Is she here tonight?
No, she watches the Zoom, the recordings of the meetings and then
Okay.
does the minutes from there. And
Sometimes we've had the person, I think before her, was listening on the meeting.
yeah,
Okay,
Carol watches the recordings and, there,
The
for the
minutes.
past meeting, the recording link was, she couldn't get access to it. That will not be the case moving forward, so minutes will be more regular and up to date.
oh,
Okay.
better than us having to do them ourselves.
Definitely.
So, are we gonna be approving the minutes from the last meeting?
The June 25th.
Right,
Yes. And the four of us were here.
yeah.
Four of us were here.
Yes.
I was.
Well, Brenda, you know.
She was on Zoom,
She was virtual, but she was.
right, she was here, right,
Yeah,
exactly,
and the three of us were in person.
right.
Yeah.
So we're all set with it.
Yes, so it looks good to me.
This one, we do have to do a motion?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm also amazed how long one spent, this board spends on lighting. Yeah,
Well,
We
you know,
definitely have a
everything
passion for
quickly.
well,
lighting.
that's why we have John, Brenda.
the lighting, or?
No, I'm just being facetious. John has a special interest in the lighting.
Oh, John,
Yes,
Our
yes.
John.
I
yeah,
think John needs somebody.
we did key in
John
on
Myers,
lighting
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I was kind of keying in on the parking lot, but since then I've seen a couple other little like. Schools that don't have parking lot lighting, so
Yes.
I kind of
That
was,
was-
I was kind of digging in on that, but it's,
That was kind of my point, is like,
right.
Bristol Elementary has
Yeah.
no parking lot light.
I didn't go
whatsoever,
there.
So it's like. If they don't have it, I don't know if we have to require private
So,
schools to have it.
so if everybody's all set, are you,
Yep,
friend, are you all set?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to set the minutes from last meeting.
second.
And
And
vote.
Aye.
Aye. So 4 votes for approving the minutes.
I
We're
believe
all,
that brings it to adjournment.
we're all set.
I guess we're all set.
Cool.
Well, it's nice we're gonna have, room for a few more houses in town here, in a place that makes sense.